Doctor meets a hell of a lot of people while traveling the universe, some good, some bad, and some a bit of both. Because of this, the Doctor has to be incredibly selective when choosing individuals to become full-time TARDIS crew members, and while the correct decision isn't always made, the Doctor has, for the most part, been sharing the TARDIS with some absolute gems, from 1963 to the present day. But due to the constant amount of danger involved, journeying through time and space isn't for everyone, and over the years, quite a few characters have rejected the Doctor after being offered the chance to board the TARDIS. With that in mind, I'm Will for WhoCulture, and here are 10 Doctor Who characters who rejected the Doctor. 10. Osgood. If you had to compile a small list of New Who side characters who would make excellent full-time companions, then Osgood would almost certainly make the cut. A unit scientist with a deep admiration for the Doctor, her intelligence would definitely come in handy when battling Daleks, space insects, and sentient shadows. And she dresses like the Doctor. That's an automatic win right there. Sadly, Osgood did not become a full-time companion, but she was asked, with the 12th Doctor inviting her to join him at the end of Series 9's The Zygon Inversion. However, Osgood declined, reasoning that it would be better for her to remain as a protector of Earth. Definitely the right call, considering how many deadly aliens seem to gravitate towards our little planet. 9. Dodo. Unlike everyone else on this list, Dodo didn't turn the Doctor down directly to his face. Instead, she did so by getting Polly and Ben to pass the message on to him. Dodo's final serial was 1966's The War Machines, which was also set in that same year. The story starts out with the TARDIS materializing in London, where the first Doctor and Dodo encounter a ridiculously advanced computer called WOTAN, which is so powerful that it actually ends up hypnotizing Dodo and turning her against the Doctor. This doesn't last for too long, though, and after being broken free of the machine's control, the Doctor sends her to a country house to recuperate, and this is the last we see of Dodo in the serial. Later on, Polly and Ben inform the Doctor that Dodo has recovered, but that she doesn't want to travel with him anymore. The Doctor actually seems pretty angered by this, but he isn't left alone for long, because Polly and Ben join him in the TARDIS shortly afterwards. 8. Donna Noble. While Donna Noble did eventually become a regular companion of the 10th Doctor, her relationship with him actually kicked off with a rejection. After meeting the Doctor at the end of Doomsday and having her wedding day ruined by a treacherous husband and a massive alien spider, Donna was obviously a little bit shaken, and the sheer craziness of her first adventure with the Doctor influenced her decision to turn him down at the end of The Runaway Bride. Here she mentions that she wants to travel the Earth, and so Doctor invites her on board the TARDIS, because traveling is his kind of thing. But to his surprise, she refuses, simply because she can't live a life as insane and terrifying as the Doctor's is. But of course, Donna changes her mind later on, becoming a wonderful full-time companion for the entirety of Series 4. Great decision on her part too, because her story ends with the 10th Doctor gifting her a winning lottery ticket. Ka-ching! 7. River Song. River Song had several one-off adventures with the 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors between 2008 and 2015, but when she was offered the chance to become a permanent companion, she turned the opportunity down. After losing Amy and Rory to the time-displacing touch of a lone and rather sneaky Weeping Angel, the 11th Doctor develops a major case of the sad, sad face, and River, noticing this, tells him that he must never travel alone. And so the Doctor does the obvious thing, and asks her to tag along with him. River does seem to contemplate the idea for a second or two, but then she politely refuses, telling the Doctor that she will always be there for him, just not 24/7. One psychopath per TARDIS is how she puts it, and it's like, yeah, fair point. 6. Perkins. Cheeky Chappy Perkins was a friend of the 12th Doctor in just a single Series 8 episode, Jamie Matheson's brilliant Mummy on the Orient Express. Always ready with a sarcastic comment or delightful witticism, he was the episode's standout character, and it's no surprise that the Doctor quickly took a liking to him. This resulted in Perkins being offered a spot on the TARDIS in the episode's final moments. However, Perkins, worried that doing so would change him in some way, politely turns this offer down, and he and the Doctor say their goodbyes. It's a shame that we didn't get more of Perkins, and actor Frank Skinner is disappointed at this too. He is a massive Doctor Who fan, and once confessed that he wishes Perkins' refusal could be refilmed with him saying yes instead. Us too, mate. Us too. 5. Grace Holloway. Grace Holloway didn't get a lot of screen time in the Doctor Who world, with the character appearing alongside the 8th Doctor in the 1996 TV movie, which was just shy of 90 minutes long. But brief though her stint in the Whoniverse was, it was far from uneventful. In fact, she died. She actually literally died during a final showdown with the Master. Sure, she was then brought back to life by the Eye of Harmony, but she still experienced actual death, which must have been, Pretty traumatizing. This in mind, it's no surprise that she doesn't want to travel with the Doctor any further. When he asks her to come along with him at the end of the story, she refuses, shares a kiss with him, and the two part ways, never to meet on screen again. Sadly, your life is always going to be in danger when you're around the Doctor, and Grace found that out pretty much straight away, so you can't really blame her for rejecting him. 4. Martha Jones. Not content with rejecting him once, Martha Jones actually ended up rejecting the Doctor twice. Bit mean, but there you go. While she did travel with him for an entire series, her time in the TARDIS came to an end when she turned down the Doctor's offer of further adventures, partly to stay with her family, and partly because she was tired of the Doctor not noticing her in the way that she wanted. She did leave the Doctor with a phone, however, and she called him up in the following series. The two characters then faced the Sontarans and even met the Doctor's daughter, and though Martha could have continued to fly around and have spacey-wacy adventures, she once again elected to stay on Earth. She returned once more at the end of the series, managing to prevent the end of reality at the hands of, or rather the plungers of, the Daleks. No rejections this time, but when you're a friend of the Doctor's, it does seem like danger is never too far away. 3. Cass. We're gonna bend the rules a little bit for this one, but it's such a powerful moment that we'd be remiss not to include it. Cass's sole appearance in the WhoUniverse came in the 2013 short episode The Night of the Doctor, which served as a prequel to the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor. The shot gave us more Paul McGann, which is always a good thing, and showed how the 8th Doctor regenerated into John Hurt's War Doctor, the incarnation of the Doctor who fought in the Time War. Cass turns down the opportunity to board the TARDIS in The Night of the Doctor, but unlike other examples, she isn't saying no to being a companion, she's saying no to letting the Doctor save her life. You see, Cass is the pilot of a crashing spaceship, and while she could have easily escaped when the 8th Doctor materialized on board and offered to whisk her away to safety, she chose death instead, rejecting him because the Time War had blurred the lines between the Time Lords and the Daleks, in terms of who is good and who is bad. And as someone who is on the outskirts of the Time War, watching the Time Lords and the Daleks destroy each other in droves, who can blame her? 2. Joan Redfern. The Doctor's relationship with Joan is pretty complicated, because on one level, the two characters know each other really quite well, and on another level, they don't know each other at all. When the 10th Doctor turns himself into a human in order to hide from a dangerous family of aliens, he starts to live an ordinary mortal life. He takes on an ordinary mortal name, John Smith, he gets a job, and soon enough, he falls in love with Joan, and even has a vision of the future where they're married and have kids. But in reality, all of this is a lie. John Smith doesn't really exist. He's just a disguise to mask the Doctor. So when the Doctor finally emerges at the end of the story, Joan feels like John Smith has died. And as a result, she finds it hard to even look at the Doctor, this total stranger who looks identical to her dead lover. And this is precisely why she rejects his offer to become a companion. If she were to accept, Joan would be constantly reminded of John, of the life she could have had with him, and she just doesn't want to put herself through that emotional torture. 1. TEGAN. Most of the Doctor's companions thoroughly enjoy traveling the universe and seeing the sights while also battling aliens every now and then. When they do decide to leave, it's often not by choice. Some die, and others are lost. And if it is by choice, it's normally a case of, hey Doc, I'm loving our travels, but there's something else that I need to do, such as Martha staying with her family. But Tegan, she's that rare companion who just got completely fed up with the whole adventuring lifestyle, to the extent that it caused her to tearfully reject the 5th Doctor at the end of Resurrection of the Daleks. Tegan is simply tired of all the death that she's witnessed while being with the Doctor, and while she doesn't blame him for this, she tells him that she can't go on. Most of the time, the Doctor's adventures are portrayed as these fun-filled jaunts through exotic alien locales, but Tegan's departure demonstrated just how depressing it would be to witness so much death and destruction on a regular basis. And there you have it, folks, 10 Doctor Who characters who rejected the Doctor. Feel free to drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, and drop me a follow on Twitter at @YouSlyDogU. I'm Will for WhoCulture, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.